Happy birthday, Nile TV International. Nile TV International, the first and only state-owned foreign-speaking channel in the region that had broadcast news as well as programs and documentaries portraying Egypt's image to the whole world. Nile TV, since its launching, is considered to be Egypt's voice to the whole world. The mission is definitely to transcend barriers and to send messages from Egypt about not only our political views but also cultural views, Egypt's soft power on Nile TV International and more. While celebrating the 26th anniversary of Nile TV International, the voice of Egypt to the world, a channel that was born to be a giant, we have all the honor and pleasure to have with us the godfather of Nile TV International, the founder as well as the mentor of our generation. I have all the honor and pleasure to have with us tonight on this special edition celebrating the 26th anniversary of Nile TV International, my dad, as well as my professor, godfather and mentor, His Excellency Mr. Hassan Hamid, who is the founder of Nile TV International, as well as the former head of the Egyptian Radio and Television Union. Professor, thank you so much for coming.
The pleasure is mine, and happy birthday, Nile TV International. And from one year to another, I wish Nile TV to be prosperous and to be up to the standards and up to the wishes and goals, the ambitious goals that we were putting in front of us for the future of Nile TV.
Definitely, and without your caring and sharing, it's not a birthday. So together, we're celebrating 26 years of hard work. We're celebrating a sense of optimism for the future. As I said in the beginning, in the introduction, that Nile TV was born as a giant at your hands. It was a different perspective. It was a channel that was born to transcend barriers and speak languages, English and French, and also reflect on Egypt as a whole, Egypt's culture, Egypt's soft power to the world. The idea behind the establishment of Nile TV International, how was it born, the backstage, more memories, Mr. Hassan Hamid?
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, Nile TV was born in a climate and in an environment that was looking forward to have such a channel that is reflecting the culture and the politics and the political situation and all about Egypt. And when we say Egypt, Egypt is something huge. It's so big. Mm-hmm. It is so deeply rooted in history.
Yes, it's a great responsibility as well.
Great responsibility, mm-hmm. And it's not easy to contain all this rich culture into a message to be transferred and to be sent to the whole world.
Yeah.
So, and there were so many obstacles, many difficulties that we had to, beat
transcend,
and to transcend and mm-hmm. to outlive it.
Yes.
And we did our utmost. And the first challenge was what kind of calibers we will be depending on. Mm. Do we have to look for old hands who can give us their expertise and the vision of another generation? Or are we going to have absolutely young talents who can transcend and echo the younger generation of Egypt?
Yes.
And at last we settled on selecting number 2.
Yes.
We put all our vision behind young generation who did not have any experience at all in the media or else.
Yes.
And the challenge was right. Mm-hmm. And we won, because if the young generation do not have experiences, yet they have the energy and they have the ambition and they have all the what we say, the impetus mm-hmm. in order to give us something that nobody else can give.
Yes, and they did. They did give us something that nobody else can give with their energy, as Mr. Hamid had said, with their sense of enthusiasm, with their care about the story, and also with a leader who is visionary. Because I can remember that we, at a very young age then, in our 20s, Mr. Hamid used to give us huge tasks. I can remember that together you did sit with us and read with us what we are going to be going on air reading. Like, I remember my top stories, and you were by my side and by my, there hands-on with me. And I found it really a very huge task to read the 2 minutes on air. However, your backing, your trust, your confidence in us made the difference.
Yeah, now you're talking and I'm going back with memory.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, we had to assign two young talents for their first ever first assignment, to interview. And to interview who? To interview the President of the Republic on the inauguration day. And we had two freshers, absolutely freshers,
Yes.
to interview the president while inaugurating the Nile TV International. So it was
Yeah.
Ayman.
Yes, Ayman Salah and Nisreen Baha.
Ayman Salah and Nisreen Baha.
Yes.
Both. It was their very first task to do. So, and this can show you what kind of experience we went through with each other and what kind of challenge that was.
Yes. Let us remember together with some pics more about 26 years ago. How did it go? Let us see more of those young faces. Let us see the first promo introducing Nile TV International through the voice of Muhammad Islam then. And we'll be back to remember history of a giant channel that did transcend barriers, and a leader who did leave his mark on that important channel. Let's watch.
As a part of the pioneering role of the Egyptian media in the Arab and Middle East region, Egypt launched its first satellite channel, broadcasting both in English and French. The channel surprised the Egyptians as well as the Arabs by its form, content, and language. It conveyed its message to the whole world in the main languages understood by everyone. It's Nile TV International. The 10th of October 1993 witnessed the spark of the launching of Nile TV International.
This is Nile TV International, coming to you from Cairo, Egypt.
It was the official launching of a great media outlet after 5 months of pilot transmission. It was a channel that came to light to clarify to the world our true culture that some tried to wipe out. It also worked on introducing the Egyptian viewpoint on most of the Egyptian, Arab, and global issues. It went out in October, the month of war and peace for Egyptians, with a wide array of political, economic, tourist, cultural, and social programs. The 10th of October 1993 marked the outset of Nile TV International under the leadership of the great media man Hassan Hamid, who was the first to think about launching such a distinguished media outlet under the umbrella of the Radio and Television Union, which in return resulted in a big leap in its production and excellence. Nile TV International is broadcast on 3 satellites: Nilesat, Intelsat, and Galaxy, until it became available to most of the countries in the Arab world, Europe, Africa, and USA. Owing to its true desire to be up to date with the recent advancement in the social media, Nile TV International has developed its own website and official accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, which are operating regularly and professionally thanks to its hardworking and distinguished calibers. A new step forward was taken when Nile TV launched a channel on YouTube whose views has reached 1 million according to the official data, which is the largest number of views across the Egyptian Radio and Television Union, other YouTube channels. Nile TV International has always had an eye on the major international forums. It was there to cover all the international and national events. Its real start was in the first international conference on population held in Egypt in 1994, when Nile TV was there along with the other international news agencies, and it succeeded in covering it in a way that impressed everyone. That conference which asserted to the whole world the birth of a new global satellite channel. It was also present in most of the famous film festivals, most important of which was Cannes under the leadership of the renowned media man Yusuf Sharif Rizallah, who headed the channel for a long time. Back
to our mentor, Mr. Hassan Hamid, and those were the days, I guess.
Those were the days.
Yeah,
you're right.
26 years had passed, and this was the launching, that was the nostalgia, that was the promo, that was the ambience, the air, which was full of enthusiasm and a sense of pride.
Yes, without the enthusiasm and without the deep feeling and the desire to achieve and overachieve, we wouldn't have done anything. Because when we think about what was in our hands in order to come up with a channel that is can compete and can give the image of Egypt, we would, if you do it now, I would hesitate 100 times before taking one step only in this direction. But you were young, I was also young. And
yeah. But we had common goals.
Yes, of course. Yeah, without these goals and without the deep desire to do something that our country can be proud of us, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah. I can tell you more secrets that His Excellency, Mr. Hamid, was a great believer in the youth. He believed in us, and he challenged the whole atmosphere that those were the guys, those were the true stars who are going to compete, and it really happened.
Yes.
You won at that time.
Really, really, that was my belief in youth is something that is deeply rooted within myself.
Yeah.
And when I remember back in those days, some of the colleagues in the Maspero building, they were mocking that these are the guys who are going
to launch the story.
And of course they didn't, little that they knew, because those young faces were writing a new history in our building, in the Egyptian Radio and Television history.
They did, and I must say that Excellency Mr. Hamid has also introduced new ideas to the media then. I mean, for instance, talking about reporting. People didn't know before about reporting.
Yes.
They just saw us at the ICPD, the International Conference on Population and Development.
Yeah,
we
that
were
was
a team.
a milestone in our history.
Yes, I was honored to be one of the team covering that important conference. And I had to tell you another secret, that there was a bonus after the conference through you, Mr. Hamid, I can remember quite well. And this was like the launching pad of Nile TV. And people were just wondering, and they were asking us, because it was like very much new to the introduction of reporting. They were asking even about the names that should appear at the titre, the titles, and we said no, it shouldn't be this way. Usually have a reporter narrating the story in like a couple of minutes, and then the stand-upper at the end with the reporter concluding the story, and that was typically new then.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we introduced this type of reporting
Yes.
at our organization here, and other services followed our
Did
model.
follow suit, yes.
Yeah, they did. And that was, of course, we were emulating the international media in doing that.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah. I love this photo.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, those were the days.
Yes, this photo, while His Excellency Mr. Hamid was the president of Nile TV International, first founder and president of Nile TV International, and I say that with pride. I'm really proud to be one of his daughters and one of his students. Talking about those days and like picking those cadres wasn't at all easy. You did find in them something that would tell you that later on they are going to be stars, and they are today.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when we were recruiting the young people joining us, I was looking for major qualities in each person. His ability to think freely, and the ability to have imagination. Unless you have both qualities,
Creative youth.
creative use, as a
Yes.
matter of fact, yes. And the young people, we expect from them to have a new look, to have a new vision.
Yes.
And
I can remember your advice. You used to tell us that you need to be like very simple also
yes,
in your look.
simplicity is
Simplicity
beauty.
is the key.
It
Yes.
is. And you didn't fail me, as a matter of fact. I was so proud of you. And when we were first tested, it was at the International Population Conference. And at that time, the output that came on screens was fantastic. It was magnificent. And it did introduce Nile TV to the whole world.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking about this channel that came out of the blue and doing something big like covering an international conference and doing it professionally, doing it in a manner that people took note of it.
Yes. And then later on, they did want to watch those youngsters.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So not only being a satellite channel, but also we did, I mean, transcend barriers. And here, we were very famous here in Egypt, by the way, and also abroad. You remember, like Nabil Shubeshi, they used to, he had programs, and with his way how he looks, he was very famous in Paris and in Tunisia and more in the Arab world. And more names, you know, name it, Ahmed al-Naggar, we did have Sami Zidane, Munal Zidane.
Yeah, so many.
So many, Ayman Salah, and honored to be that he's still with us working, and well,
Nisreen
many
Baha,
faces, Nisreen Baha, Riham al-Sahli,
Riham
and the
al-Sahli.
Nile DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the beat also. Nile DJ was very famous then as well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Khalid Shabana did
A great job. Khalid is very professional.
Yes.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Well, it's always time for celebration. 10-10 the 10th of October is very special, not only to me, but to all of us here as the family of Nile TV International. This year we're celebrating the 26th anniversary. The Silver Jubilee was honored by President Hamid being around and sharing with us those lovely moments.
And that was last year.
That was last year.
Yes.
That was last year, and there were moments of honor. And let us have a look. It was a nice celebration.
Oh, yeah, sure, sure.
Let us watch together.
Allow me today to pay tribute to our Ustaz Hassan Hamid. Welcome, Ustaz. سيادة اللواء منور الدنيا. اتفضل. زي ما قلت يا جماعة، فعلا الأستاذ حسن بالنسبة لنا أب ووالد، فرق جدا في حياتنا العملية. علمنا كتير، اتعلمنا منه كتير، ليه أفضل علينا كلنا. علمنا القيادة، أنا شخصيا اتعلمت منه كتير قوي. إن أهم حاجة في القيادة إن أنت تجمع أسرتك حواليك، وإنك تحب فريقك، وإنك تآمن بيه. I really learned from أستاذ حسن a lot how to believe in your team. And definitely to work as one team and one family. This is what he taught us. Ustaz, thank you so much. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tagreed. 25 years have passed just like that. As we say in Arabic, الوقت كالسيف إن لم تقطعه قطعك. Time is like a sword. Either you cut it or it will cut you. So the glimpse of time, which equals now 25 years, has taken me away back in history and to the time when I was young and all my collaborators were younger. They were, as a matter of fact, fresh graduates from universities and different schools like the School of Art and School of Cinema. And they were all well educated. They were all full of enthusiasm. They were all energetic. And as Tagreed said, they have learned from me. But in the meantime, I have learned a lot from them. They were my link to the current life and to the current way of thinking and to the current culture. They were very talented young people, and believe me, I have enjoyed their company and I have enjoyed managing that operation at that time in all ways. And I have been promoted after that. My career took me to establish a whole sector under the name of Nile channels in Arabic, for news and for culture and for entertainment, different cultures and different programs. And I was heading that big operation. And then I was promoted to the big position of CEO and President of the Egyptian Radio and Television Broadcasting Corporation. And I also was lucky enough to be the chairman of the مدينة الإعلام الإنتاجي, the media production city. And believe me, I enjoyed being the boss of Nile TV International much more than all the other positions. It was at that time I felt the beauty of creation, the beauty of doing something new, fresh, that has nothing that is equal to it. It is communicating with the whole outside world, taking the Egyptian culture to a new realms of understanding and of explaining and of putting all our beliefs in capsules so that the outside world can understand and can communicate with. Thank you, Taghreed, for all the nice words you have said, and thanks for this beautiful gathering. Thanks for our getting together and for refreshing my memory about the nice, good days that have passed 25 years ago. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ustaz Hassan. Thank you.
And long live Egypt and long live Nile TV International.
Long live Egypt, long live Nile TV. It gives me a great honor and pleasure tonight to honor our professor and our father, Ustaz Hassan Hamid. A big tribute to His Excellency, Mr. Hassan Hamid. Thank you.
Yes, those were moments of honor and pride that I really cherish. That was a lovely day that brought together Nile TV family with the founder. And I guess we enjoyed it.
The pleasure was really mine because thanks to you, you have gathered all the old, young and old faces that were around us in Nile TV International.
It was a great day and great memories, and throughout the history of Nile TV International there has been landmarks and there has been hits and characters and superheroes that Nile TV International had interviewed and top-notch personalities. So more on the legacy Nile TV International and the legacy of a channel in this report, and we'll be back.
Nile TV International is the second Egyptian satellite television news network in Egypt and the first Arab satellite channel to broadcast its programs in foreign languages, English and French. Nile TV International is broadcast on 4 satellites, allowing for its transmission to reach the whole Arab world, the Middle East, Europe and the United States. Moreover, it's also broadcast as a terrestrial channel on the UHF band. In July 2009, Nile TV International became formally part of the news sector of the Egyptian Radio and Television Union. Nile TV International sheds light on the Egyptian and Arab culture, tourist, economic and artistic issues with strong emphasis on news which is given first priority. It also plays a very important role at the informative, cultural, artistic and economic and touristic levels. Nile TV International is an international station that has always played a role in transmitting the state's image and culture to the globe. The channel presents a variety of news and informative programs such as politics, economy, sports, culture and religion, besides the main newscasts and reports every hour. It is mainly a news channel that focuses on political, local and foreign issues in most programs, with an emphasis on the daily captures in Egypt and presidential coverage. The founder of Nile TV International and its first president was Mr. Hassan Hamid, who was the mentor to all those who worked in the channel. Nile TV was then presided by veteran media figures Mr. Yusuf Sharif Rizallah from 1997 to 2002, Mrs. Hala Hashish from 2002 to 2007, Dr. Nashwa Al-Shalaini from 2005 to 2009, Mrs. Mirvat Al-Affas from 2009 to 2013, Dr. Mirvat Mohsen from 2013 to 2014, Mr. Sameh Ragai from 2014 to 2018. Today, and for the first time, Nile TV is presided by one of its own veteran presenters, who was one of those who took the helm of raising the channel's flag since it was established, Mrs. Taghreed Hussein. Nile TV International has always been and will always be the voice of Egypt to the whole world. Nile TV International has always been and will always be the voice of Egypt to the whole world.
مشتاقين يا ناس للبيت لنجع الحبايب لبلاد النخيل والغيط عيون اللي غايب بالحب الكبير والشوق الكتير مشتاقين يا ناس لبلاد الدهب مشتاقين يا ناس لبلاد الدهب قبر الشوق جوا القلب كان لسه في حضن الحب خدنا ومشينا والايام خدتنا خدنا ومشينا والايام خدتنا رحله عوده رحله عوده ناويين إننا راجعين يا بلادي ومشتاقين ناويين إننا راجعين
مشتاقين في بلاد الذهب. We're always longing to Aswan. Aswan, kind people, the kind hearts, the hearts of gold.
Thank you. This is a compliment that touches my emotions because I'm one of Aswan governorate.
Of the golden hearts of Aswan.
Of its people, yes.
Yes. Yes, Aswan has definitely a place in our hearts, not only as a fascinating tourist destination, but because also of the people of Aswan, like Ustaz Hassan, they are known to be kind, very, very kind-hearted. They are also always smiling. I can remember always
Because
that they are
when you
smiling.
see the beauty of Aswan, the whole place can push everybody to smile.
Yes.
It's so difficult to be there and not smile.
Yes, definitely it is. And from the beauty of Aswan to the beauty of Egypt and to Egypt's soft power. And I would love to share an experience that Nile TV International had already entered with a transmission with TV5 Monde, Nile TV and TV5 together launched a joint transmission that we are really proud of this important experience in Nile TV's history. And the French team were very proud of the Egyptian media people today.
It's good that you mentioned that experience because I followed the news about it and I have seen it. It was wonderful. And I hope that you will be going into several such experiences because it gives the people who are working on it a great chance to develop their talent and to have a beautiful way of mingling with the other culture. And this is really fantastic.
Yeah. One of the important lessons also that we learned from our professor Hassan Hamid is exposure. Exposure is very important. He used to send us on missions and journeys to learn and to get acquainted with others and to know more about other media people experiences around the world. I guess this is a very important piece of advice.
As a matter of fact, I have been exposed to many cultures. I worked in different media organizations, for some time in Tokyo, Japan, and for other time in Washington, D.C., and for some time in Beirut, Lebanon, and in Greece, Rhodes Island. So I have great part of my life I spent working for other media organizations.
Yeah.
And I really, when I go back in memory and think about what kind of exposure I had and what it effect on me as a human being and as a professional, I really think that without such experience, without the work I have been doing and immersed and in it wholeheartedly and giving the atmosphere and the people I met over there and other from the chance that I had lived overseas for so many years, I had participated in so many conferences throughout my whole career. And in conferences, you don't go and participate in the conference only for giving a speech or listening to people speaking. As a matter of fact, you mingle with other mentalities and you get the experiences of others through their talk with you. You are talking with them and they are talking to you, and the other party is gaining experience from you, and you are gaining also a lot from him. So this is something which I was very keen to give you the chance to go and have exposure with other cultures and with other people and with other organizations.
Yes, definitely it did leave an impact. Let us watch excerpts of the joint transmission between Nile TV International and the TV5 Monde joint transmission that was aired in the two countries, and definitely did leave a positive impact on both, and did transcend barriers and gave an additional exposure and experience to the team. Let's watch.
Beaucoup, 36 degrés quasiment. Merci de nous accueillir ici dans ce magnifique site, le Palais Manasterli.
Eh bien, c'est un plaisir pour moi de vous accueillir ici au Caire. Tout d'abord, bonsoir très chers téléspectateurs. Je suis ravie, moi, mais aussi la télévision publique égyptienne, de vous accueillir ici au Caire, au bord du Nil, car nous nous trouvons actuellement au Palais de Manasterli qui se trouve sur l'île de Roda, au bord du Nil. Alors, ce palais construit en 1851 est chargé d'histoire, car figurez-vous que derrière nous se trouve un des plus anciens nilomètres qui date de l'Égypte antique, mais aussi se trouve un musée de la légendaire chanteuse égyptienne Kalsoum.
Et plusieurs invités avec nous, Noah, dans cette étape égyptienne de la piste de la francophonie. On va commencer par les présenter, mais d'abord on va quand même signaler que l'Égypte est membre officiel de l'Organisation internationale de la francophonie depuis 1983. L'OIF, donc présidée aujourd'hui par Louise Mouchikiwabo. Nos invités donc avec Omaïma El-Chal, hein, c'est ça?
Exactement, Omaïma El-Chal, bienvenue. Vous êtes professeur et égyptologue. Merci d'être avec nous aujourd'hui.
Merci de m'accueillir.
À vos côtés, nous avons aussi Nadine Abdelghaffar. Vous êtes fondatrice donc d'Art d'Égypte. Bienvenue.
Merci.
Et on vous parlait tout à l'heure du musée Léopold Sédar Senghor à Dakar, au Sénégal. On va toujours parler de Senghor, illustre francophone avec nous. Thierry Verdel, soyez le bienvenu. Je ne sais pas si c'est moi qui dois vous dire bienvenue ou si c'est vous, parce que vous vivez à Alexandrie, vous êtes le recteur de l'université Senghor, et avec nous également à vos côtés Mona Majdalani, mais en Égypte le je se prononce ge. Vous avez enseigné le français pendant quasiment 20 ans, vous êtes consultante en système éducatif. Alors tiens Mona, dites-nous, est-ce qu'il est vrai que les Égyptiennes et les Égyptiens parlent parfois français sans le savoir? Est-ce qu'il y a des mots français, des expressions françaises que vous utilisez, comme les fameux québéquismes ou les fameux belgicismes?
Bien sûr, et depuis longtemps, depuis 1800 à peu près, les Égyptiens parlent français sans s'en rendre compte, dans plusieurs domaines. Le domaine de l'automobile, le domaine de la mode, le domaine du mobilier, de l'art, de la chanson. Enfin, on n'arrête pas d'utiliser des mots français et ça a été égyptianisé un petit peu, mais l'origine est toujours, elle reste toujours française.
Il y a notamment l'automobile, mais pas seulement, avec le mot vitesse, bien entendu, qui est entré dans le langage. Exactement. Il y a aussi, Noah, par exemple, le mot corniche, corniche El Nil, que l'on utilise.
Exactement, on a aussi madame, mais juste avant, j'ai une petite surprise à te faire découvrir, mais on a un mot, parce qu'aujourd'hui on a appris aussi la disparition d'un homme très important qui a marqué déjà les esprits en Égypte. C'était un amoureux de l'Égypte, il a visité 7 fois l'Égypte durant son mandat, c'est bien évidemment.
Et vous parlez bien entendu de Jacques Chirac. Exactement. Qui nous a quittés à l'âge de 86 ans aujourd'hui, l'ancien président français. Peut-être une réaction de la part de deux invités qui veulent réagir. On va commencer avec vous, Omaïma El-Chal, vous l'égyptologue. Jacques Chirac, que représentait-il pour vous?
Pour moi, c'est mon enfance, c'est le maire de Paris, c'est le président de la République et c'est les relations franco-égyptiennes et franco-arabes.
Thierry Verdel, un mot peut-être sur la mort de l'ancien président français Jacques Chirac.
En tant que recteur de l'université Senghor, je dirais d'abord son amour et sa grande connaissance du continent africain, et puis bien sûr manger les pommes.
Manger des pommes, bien entendu, qu'il a popularisé avec les guignols de l'info. On va revenir au mot de la langue française, justement. Noah, je disais la corniche, le Nil.
Exactement, on ne va pas manger des pommes, mais on va peut-être vous faire découvrir un plat cassis. C'est un plat typique égyptien. Alors, on l'a donc justement sur cette table basse. Est-ce que vous connaissez ce que c'est?
Ah, pas du tout.
Vous ne connaissez pas?
Pourtant, j'en connais des plats égyptiens, c'est quoi?
Alors, ça s'appelle...
Yes, those were excerpts of the joint transmission between Nile TV International and TV5 Monde, addressing more on the Francophone culture in Egypt and transcending barriers and knowing more about Egypt's soft power. Assessing this experience, Mr. Hamid, how do you see those sense of exposures and joint transmissions with the world?
As I said before, this is a very good chance for our staffers in order to get to know how other people are working. Are they doing the same as us, or they are having something else that we can benefit from? And I think it's always good to mingle with other people, with other professionals from other TV stations. And this is the way people develop and get the chance to get better standing in their profession.
Yes, another experience that Nile TV International has ventured into was Mohammed Abderrahim traveling to China and shooting there a very interesting program about the dialogue of civilizations, where India and Greece as well has participated with anchors talking about dialogue of civilizations. And Egypt participated, and on behalf of Nile TV International, we represented Egypt at this important professional interview that was aired from China. Let's watch.
He or she other side.
Absolutely.
Having said that,
Professor,
having said that,
having
said that,
a terrorist people just is like a terrorist entity that kills people.
I absolutely agree with you. Hypocrisy, double standard is bad. It's worse in human beings. I do what I like, but when you do it, you have to do according to my standard. That's really, really bad.
Right.
But I also, that is why we have to believe that rationality will eventually prevail. We have to believe, like you just said, Egyptians love life. Love life means what? Means if I kill one life, I kill myself already.
We really hope so. We really hope that
that's why we have to stand together. Stand together.
The problem is
to make people understand hypocrisy, double standards is the worst enemy we are facing now, not just by your civilization, but also by my civilization.
Right. Yes,
I agree with you.
Because the fanatics are there everywhere.
Against the Confucianism, to stop the crime, I have to do it, start it from myself. I think in Quran also said that.
I wanted to ask His Excellency, the Ambassador of Greece to Beijing, now defining the characteristics of civilizations, scholars have gone along the lines of many criterions, like advanced cities, organized central government, religion, jobs, social classes, writing, art, architecture, and so on. In your view, what are the most important and most significant traits of a civilization?
Look, historically and scientifically, these are all things, we started, of course, with technology, the myth of Prometheus handing off the technology and fire to the human race. Of course, the creation of agriculture. China is a testimony of that. Mesopotamia, Egypt, creation of agriculture has been absolutely instrumental in building great civilizations. Also, I would say language and art, artistic and linguistic.
Yes, well, lots of memories today, but we can't leave with Mr. Hamid without his words and his piece of advice and his messages of care. And this is usually that brings and gives a sense of emphasis from one year to the other. A message to your Nile TV family and your sons and daughters at Nile TV.
Well, as I always say, this channel is part of me. I have had a lot of days and nights working on the establishment of this channel. I have been staying with the younger generation for days and days, and we were dreaming of having a channel that we will be proud of. And believe me, Tagreed, I am proud of you. I'm proud of everything you are doing nowadays. And all I can say is keep on the good job, the good work, and do your best to reflect on our great civilization, the Egyptian civilization, and the Egyptian effort to develop and to have all the ambitions of the Egyptian people done and crystallized as we are going in great steps to achieve our great society, the society that we are dreaming of.
Yes, definitely. And also a message from the professor to the young media people today and those who want to venture into the world of media and do something for the media. Ustaz Hassan, you're always leaving a legacy behind through your sense of commitment to the job and respect to what you've been doing. And this is what you taught us, that we need to be committed and to respect our work. And to be creative and try to think out of the box and not to be traditional. What more for the youth of today who want to be the media people of Egypt for the future?
Well, there is nothing that you can achieve without working. Exert all you can in the work you are doing, and be sure that the more you work and the more you exert an effort in what you're doing, the output and the result, you will be rewarded. Nobody will be rewarded out of laziness or out of doing half-hearted job or half-hearted work. You cannot achieve your goals. You cannot reach a higher step without doing all you can in order to achieve it.
Definitely. It's a night where we remember the beautiful memories are on, and I guess we have more excerpts of those beautiful memories and Nile TV productions that did really leave an impact on the whole society, a channel that was born to be a giant. Let's watch, we'll be back.
In 2009, Nile TV International was affiliated abruptly to the news sector, changed the identity of the channel to be more of a news channel with a variety of distinguished day and evening programs. During the 25th of January and the 30th of June revolutions, Nile TV crew was there in all squares and streets to let the Egyptians and the world know the truth of what was happening in every corner of Egypt. It covered closely all the political events which took place in Egypt, especially in critical times. In the aftermath of the January Revolution, Egypt suffered from a tourist setback due to a temporary security vacuum and instability. At that moment, Nile TV International took upon itself the mission of promoting tourism through a variety of tourism programs. Its crew scored the different governorates to clarify the true picture to the West, showing how Egypt was enjoying security and stability once again. Owing to Nile TV's great efforts, most of the countries decided to lift the ban on traveling to Egypt. Since the 10th of October 1993, the leadership of the channel has been encouraging its staff to create and renovate, and for that reason, it was always present on the podium with immortal works in spite of the modest available means. Since its inauguration, Nile TV International won many awards. Since the inauguration of Nile TV International, 7 highly qualified heads were appointed to preside over the channel till today. Officials and people in charge got to recognize the great role of Nile TV International and the importance of paying it due attention in order to put an end to many problems the state is having with the outer world. Nile TV International is and will always be the voice of love and peace which Egypt conveys to the whole world.
Yes, the voice of Egypt to the whole world, and the message of peace from Egypt, the mother of the world, to the whole world. I had all the honor and pleasure of having with us His Excellency Mr. Hassan Hamid, the founder, and His Excellency also was the former head of the Egyptian Radio and Television Union, founder of Nile TV International, not only professionally, because he has a special place in our hearts. We, his students, his daughters, his sons, not only at Nile TV International, but in the whole media entity, and not only in Egypt, but all over the Arab world, they really pay tribute to what he did teach us and his impact that he did leave on us today. I thank you so much, Professor, for coming.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine.
It was really a pleasure today, and I consider it history-making that we are sitting together on the same table. I wish I would always be up to your expectations, and that Nile TV International would always be an entity that you would be proud of.
Oh, of course, I'm very proud of you, and I wish you all the best in your career.
Thank you so much, Professor. And thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. That was, I consider, one of my hits, actually. This exclusive interview with His Excellency, Mr. Hassan Hamid, founder of Nile TV International. And together we did remember the glory days of Nile TV. I wish that more successful days would come to this important channel and the impact it leaves, not only on Egypt, but on the whole world as a reputable media institution that was born a giant. This is Taghreed Hussein, thanking you all for watching.